Hello friends, welcome to this video. Thanks for being here. My name is Oshina. I'm going to be sharing about some books that are so good I would read them again. So all of the rereads that I would do, kind of a reread TBR, and then some recommendations as well. I know there's a mix of people who either never reread and have no interest in rereading, and then people who maybe will a little bit, and then people who do it all the time. So I'm kind of more so in the do it a little bit, do it all the time kind of boat. Lately I've been rereading a lot. If you watched my January wrap up, you'll have seen I reread most of the month, and that was really fun to do. And there's something about like just rereading some favorites and some comfort reads that just help with life sometimes, and it also helps to get out of a reading slump. So I just wanted to share some books that I have reread, that I would reread, and ones that I recommend that you reread. I just think this would be interesting because then it's like also kind of a recommendation video, but you may or may not have read these books before. So you already saw my wrap up, so I did reread the whole Hunger Games trilogy and I really enjoyed doing that. I have reread the Hunger Games and Catching Fire a couple times, but not Mockingjay, so it was really nice to read them kind of back to back, and I highly recommend the audiobooks for these books. It was really fun to read these books again. So that kind of made me think like, do I want to reread some other like dystopian books that I love? So I do think this year I'll reread the Divergent trilogy as well. I love this trilogy so much. Like I probably love it even more than the Hunger Games, to be honest, just because I love the world, the setup. Like I really like the idea of factions that are about almost kind of like a personality trait or just like a value, and seeing how people like kind of embody that value and then how it like breaks apart because you can't have just one, you should have all of them kind of thing. I don't know. If you've never read Divergent, I highly recommend it. It's a great young adult dystopian. I recently rewatched all the movies for Divergent too, and that made me want to read the books again. So I probably will reread this book. Yeah, I just highly recommend it. So there's like really good YA dystopian books out there that if you haven't read them before, I would recommend. Another book on the reread TBR is Reckless by Lauren Roberts. As you already know, I've reread Powerless 3 times, and I'll probably binge all the books leading up to the third one coming out because I'm so excited. So yeah, I'm probably gonna reread Powerless this year too, but then I've never reread Reckless. It'll be my only second time reading it. And I have this like paperback copy, so this will be the one that I tab and underline and find all the quotes that I love. So I'm excited to do that. But yeah, this is definitely on the TBR. So much so that I put it on my TBR shelf so that like I really choose it. I should probably add Divergent to my TBR shelf too, because I definitely want to prioritize reading it again. It's really good. Okay, now for some books that I've just reread multiple times. I don't necessarily have a plan to reread them this year, although it might happen, but Stay With Me by Becky Wade. I've read this 3 times, and this is my comfort read. Every time I've read it, there's something so comforting because it's such a feel-good story. It's so funny, but there is depth to it, and it's so relatable, like just all the things. This is like one of my perfect stories, and I have quite a few of those, but this one in particular is just a comfort read. It just makes me feel good when I read it. So yeah, again, highly recommend that one. There's a ton of like Christian romance books that are like rereads and like comfort reads. Let me show you. Of course, Tammy Gray as well. So My Hope Next Door, I've reread this multiple times, and then Love and a Little White Lie, read this multiple times. Love them both, and I just think that I'm looking for romance that is relatable, that is real, that has serious issues that the characters have to work on, but that they rely on God to get over those issues and to process them and then find romance along the way. That's just my favorite thing, and that's what these books are. So yeah, I also love these ones, would highly recommend rereading them. And then you may already know that I have been rereading Lynn Blackburn's books because wow, I just love her books. Like, how did this happen? But yeah, so this is the last book in the Dive Team Investigations trilogy, and I still need to reread this one, but I have just so enjoyed rereading these because I don't have to pay attention to what's happening with the mystery. I can kind of just like soak up the characters and enjoy watching them like interact, and I really do enjoy it. And then Unknown Threat, one of my faves. This was the first book that I read by her actually, and I was hooked. So I definitely am looking forward to reading this one again and tabbing it up, and yeah, it's gonna be good. Another book that I have read twice is Autumn by the Sea by Melissa Tagg. I did end up reading this again to continue on in the trilogy, and I loved it the same that I did the first time I read it. So that was a really good sign that this is like a really good book because I can reread it and still love it. I know sometimes when you reread something and it doesn't hit the same way, it's like so disappointing, and I have a couple books like that, but there's also some that I just love over and over again. And actually, my Patreon book club book is Before I Called You Mine, and I've never reread this, but I have read it before. So I'm really excited to reread it and just see if I like it the same way. I was sitting on my foot that whole time. Now it's asleep. Ouch. Okay. Another book that I want to reread is Dear Henry Love Edith. Now, last year, some people were reading it and they didn't like it the same way that I loved it, but that's okay. We all have different taste, but this is like peak comedy to me, and I definitely want to read this again. Yeah, I still think this is great. I'm very pro Dear Henry Love Edith. I've also been wanting to reread Bridge to Haven by Francine Rivers. I've kind of been rereading some Francine Rivers lately too, kind of. I mean, I reread The Masterpiece, which was fun. So now I want to reread Bridge to Haven, and we shall see. I definitely want to read it this year though. I think that's going to happen. And then same with Piercing the Darkness. I've reread This Present Darkness a couple times, but not Piercing the Darkness. And I really want to. So this year, I think I want to read Piercing the Darkness too. I'm just like here to just yap about books. Why not? And then I really want to reread Where the Road Bends by Rachel Fordham. I want to tab this up. This was my first book by her, and I was so hooked, so impressed. Like, seriously, this is really good. This is historical, but it's just like, it's definitely like, I don't know. It just had a lot of like, wow. This reminded me of Redeeming Love, which is why I loved it so much. And Redeeming Love is another one that I reread all the time. I've reread it like 3 or 4 times, and I love it every time. Another one I want to reread is Lulu's Café by T.I. Lowe. This book is so good, and I've only read it the one time, but man, I really need to read it again. It's just kind of intense, so I don't know if I can handle it. It's so good. So I want to read that again. And did I just like show a ton of books and then like where are we? What is happening? I'm also definitely going to be rereading Never Fall Again by Lynn Blackburn, because this is the start of her new series that is coming out, and the book 2 comes out in April, I want to say. March or April, and I've pre-ordered it, but I want to reread this one before it comes out and tab it up, you know. And then Melissa Koslin, I can reread her books. I'm so excited. So I did reread Never Miss already and really enjoyed it. Read this in January too, but I want to reread Dangerous Beauty and The Lost Library so that I can tab all my favorite parts, because it has such good romance. I'm so excited. That's it for now. My TBR, I mean, it was a big old mix, so whatever. I'm just gonna write all the books down below in the order that I showed them, and you may see them pop up with reviews throughout the year, but also check my Goodreads because they are all on there, and I'll have a review up there already and ratings and stuff. So yeah, and most of these that I showed are all 5 stars. There might be some 4 stars in there because I will reread a 4-star. You know, 4 stars is still like really good. It means I really liked it. But yeah. Let me know your favorite books that you like to reread, if you do reread. And then I'd be curious to know, like, well, it makes sense why people don't want to reread, but for me, I just find comfort in it. So that's why I like to do it. So let us know your favorite comfort reads, your favorite rereads, all the things. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this was kind of fun for you. And we'll see what video comes next. I think it is hopefully the romance vlog that is coming. I'm working on a romance vlog. Hopefully you're gonna see it on Saturday. So check that out. And then I'm working on some other reading vlogs too. It just takes time, you know? So stay tuned. But yeah, thank you for being here, you guys. I really appreciate all of your support and the likes, the comments, everything. And yeah, have a great day. Bye, guys.